Today is March 29th, 2023. I'll be selling this 2012 Yamaha FX SHO supercharged wave runner on the Houston Facebook Marketplace, Houston Craigslist, probably some of the other forums. This ski is a runner. It does need some bottom repair that I'll show you here in a little bit. I'm going to detail out and show you exactly what condition this thing is in. So you don't have to ask me, you don't have to ask for pictures of anything, you can just watch this video. This is as high def as they come, should be 4K. I'll be uploading this to YouTube here after I'm done with the video. So let's do the full walk around, starting with the condition of the hood. I didn't do any detailing of this thing. All I did is I washed it off with a standard car brush, basically a car wash brush. So it needs to be polished and dialed in, but by and large you'll get the gist of this here. I'll try to point out any flaws as I go. This is a kind of like, this area here is like a rub, so it's been blended in as far as like buffed in, so a little bit more buffing, and it should come out pretty close to mirror, but I'm going to try to show that anyway, since that's the only thing on the hood. It's a tiny little fingernail scratch there. Could use some detailing on this a little bit. It's just, you know, hasn't been gone through it all. So there's a little bit of what I would call like maybe clear coat fade right there. So this would be a good candidate for maybe a sticker down this way to cover that up, just to keep it from deteriorating more. The stickers, they're a little bit on the faded side, but you know, they show good from 5 feet, but full disclosure, they are fading. This is a mechanic special. It does run, there's nothing wrong with it other than it needs that bottom repaired on there. So that you're going to have to get taken care of. There's 2 places that I can refer you to here in Houston to take care of that. Let's see, here's an abrasion on the hood. Maybe right there, I'd call that an abrasion as well. There's a lot of like bug splatter on here from those love bugs. Front bumper's got some scuffs. This is gonna be a long video because I'm gonna try to be as thorough as I can. So you can see it needs to be buffed out all the way through here. Clearly it does. There's like some scratches here, a scratch along here. That's just some cleaner, some soap. Little scratches up in here. Finish is a little bit dull. It just really needs to be gone through. Here's one of the parts that needs to be, well, it doesn't need to be, it's above the water line, but there's a place here where it took a light impact, must have been a nose of a ski, so it did crack. Looks like it's about 6.5 inches long in total. If it were me, I would probably remove the sticker. I would load this up with JB Marine Weld with some epoxy, excuse me, a 2-part epoxy, and sand that down, rattle can that area black, and put another sticker across there to go on the cheap. I've done that before, and I've got a video from like 2009 or 2010 doing that with JB Marine Weld. It's not structural, so above the water line, definitely fair game. Depends on how high end of a finish you want to put on this thing for the cheap price that you're paying for it. So let's see, little fingernail scratches here and here, just a couple scratches up the rail. It's not too bad though. Let's cover this area. This area all in here looks really good. There's a little paint chip there. Another one here. That looks like about it though. Everything else actually looks glossy and good. Sticker fade, not too bad though. Detailing needed on this piece of chrome trim. The rear storage container area here, as is typical with these skis, these clips broke here, so there is replacements that you can buy, better upgraded versions of those if you decide to do that. Otherwise, this has been working very well. Basically 1 bungee a year takes care of it. Never use that while I'm on the water anyway. Let's see, what else? The grab handle's in good shape. No need to cover that, I don't think. Good condition, needs detailing. Sticker scratched, faded, peeling up right here. I would trim that off with a razor blade. Maybe angle it down to there. A little X-Acto knife razor blade. And, or peel off the whole sticker, make it black. I mean, come on. Needs some detailing, but it's in good shape. No cracks, no bubbling. Same. I would take this sticker right straight off of there. It's just starting to dry up. I think the other one, no, the other one is still on there. So anyway, I hope that covered that part well enough. Let's come up this rail here. It's dull, needs to be buffed. Some minor nicks, some surface scratching. Down in the footwell, little nick, little nick. That's about it inside of that area. Coming up the whole footwell. Pretty good. A little dirty here. This is scratch along here. Not through the color though, so that's good. Seats. Seats are in good usable condition. I'd put them at about a 7 out of 10. There's a little bit of mildew on here still. I did a light cleaning on them. I didn't want to go too hard on the cleaning. There is some initial sign of pinholes forming on this seat. So my opinion, you want to get this seat recovered eventually. It'd be good for the season, especially if you're storing it indoors or under a good cover, which I do not have. This ski does not come with a trailer. So let's see what else. Storage compartment. This one has right around 200 hours, at or a little bit under, a little bit over. I think it's a little under 200 hours on the motor and the speedometer. It was sold to me in a pair, and this one actually had a bad motor. So here's one thing that isn't good on this one. The steering cable needs to be changed out. It's definitely showing signs of corrosion. The trim cable's good though, as is the throttle. The reverse cable on this one, I believe, is also in perfect shape. I think, yeah. So reverse is good. Gauge cluster still nice and clean. Shock still works, just rare. This area here I scratched off with my fingernail. This black mildew does come off of there, so it's just going to take some work with a brush and some bleach. Maybe a magic eraser would probably be a good tool for that, to get that cleaned off. Let's see, pretty standard up in here. Fire extinguisher's missing, but those are super cheap. You can buy a 2-pack at Costco for like 20 bucks or $30. Let's see. Alright, so back to the jet pump. So it's got the boarding ladder. The jet pump is gone off of this one. However, I do have it, so don't be concerned. I do have it. I pulled the jet pump off of here so I could check out everything that's going on. Initially, this motor was thought to be seized up only because the jet pump was thought to be seized up, so we pulled the jet pump off first instead of pulling the head off the motor, and it turned out to be the motor that was in here was catastrophic failure on the top end from water intrusion, and so the motor that's being sold with it was its twin brother. That ski had really bad damage on the bottom of the hull. I would consider it unrepairable, but a gentleman wanted that, so I sold him the hull. But I kept the entire power plant and all the parts. Basically, I just stripped it down to nothing, and he bought the ski with the title. So anyway, this one does have a title in my name, in hand. let's see what else here. So needs a little bit of cleanup around here with a wire brush, wire wheel on a drill before it's going to be good to go. So what else? I don't think I have the rubber flap that goes over here. I mean, I probably do if you really want that. I don't like them because it makes it hard to clean this off with fresh water when you're done for the day, if you happen to take it to the salt water. All right, so let's talk about below the water line now. So the sponson is a little scraped up a little bit, not a big deal. Let's see, some scratches here, some light scratches here and here. Sorry, I'll cover the underside damage in a second. I'll show you this. She's dirty. Sticker's actually in shockingly good shape. No scrapes on the sponson. A lot of these, you can take these out with some like 400 grit, 600 grit sandpaper, and then just hit it with a heat gun. It'll remelt that plastic in pretty nicely. All right, so let's get to the repair needs on this one. So this was previously repaired incorrectly by someone else. And the extent of that repair goes from right about here. You can see it's got water. It's water drained out. I just got done washing it. So it goes from about right here down to here. So I'd say that is about 20 inches worth of repair area needing to be just ground out and then repaired. All they did is they took fiberglass and laid it down here poorly, and then of course, you know, it didn't hold, and they probably rattle can spray painted this and just did a quick job to get it back on the water again, and that repair failed. So there's two guys that are south of town, on the southeast side as you go towards Galveston, that do nano repairs and have plenty of time to do it. I just contacted him the other day, so I can pass on the information to him. I don't anticipate a repair like this costing more than, I really don't anticipate it being more than $1,000, but I'm going to say absolute worst case scenario, I cannot fathom being $1,500 for this repair, plus repainting the bottom. Another option, instead of repainting the bottom after the repair, a lot of folks are starting to go with Gator Glide to put on the bottom there. So Gator Glide is something you can look up on YouTube. Gator Glide jet ski, Gator Glide wave runner. I happen to like it. It's a very durable product. It helps with, you know, glancing blows off of stuff. I just think that would complement this really well after doing a repair on this. So there she is. All right, now for the insides. So I have everything that's missing from here in my shop. I'll show you that, all that stuff in a second. So I tried just cleaning it up. Generally it hasn't been cleaned in quite a while, so I tried to do a little bit of detailing back in here, but it still needs, you know, replacement of little things like the worm clamps. Some of the quick connect clips should be replaced with stainless steel. Yamaha doesn't do a very good job of that. This is all the wires from the electronics wires and such, just packaged up in there so they can stay nice and dry as I was detailing this out. So, pull the fuel tank so that the fuel tank can be swabbed out nice and clean, start fresh and new. Motor mounts are in good shape. They're, you know, they've seen a little bit of salt water on them and stuff, so they're missing some of the rubber around there, but they were in good shape. There's no they're not ripped or torn or anything like that, so those should be definitely reusable. And I didn't see any cracks in the cables. That should be the steering. Oh, that is the steering cable actually. So this is the one that will need to be replaced right here, and that feels like it might be burst right through here. So alternatively, if you don't want to replace it, I think you can actually cut these where the battery is and get rid of these fine little wires inside of there, and just go with a bare cable for a while if you really get desperate and want to do it. But I mean, just replace the cable. So all right, let's go to the parts. So the motor that was in there is this one. So I'm not selling this one. This one's got some what do you call this? Not WD-40, but a real heavy-duty version, basically, to try to free up the pistons, to see if I can get those pistons to move. They are all completely corroded in there. So this this bottom end, where's the head for this one? This bottom end, and this is the head that was in there. So obviously I'm not selling that to you. It's every valve in there is probably a goner by the looks of them. So the motor I am selling though is a runner. So this is its brother motor. This one had no water intrusion. It was a running ski. It was just the hull was in worse shape on the bottom than that one, and I just determined it was unrepairable. It'd be too high of a dollar figure, so it wasn't worth keeping around. So I just pulled the power plant. So we got the electronics, the e-box, all the hoses. You know, the charger's great on here, spins freely. Let me show you that. There we go. Anyway, that's the power plant. And that power plant already has the intake manifold, the fuel injector rail, everything's still on it from when I pulled it originally out of the other ski. It does not have the exhaust manifold. So I do have the exhaust manifold here, yeah, I was trying to remember. The exhaust manifold here for it, not the intake. And let's see what other parts here. That's for the other ski. You already got a head. The whatever parts it needs, basically, like the bucket for the rear, the bridge for the 2 seats, you know, all the stuff. I've got all that stuff. It's everywhere around here, but I've got everything. So I've got box there of different parts. This may or may, that's not the pump, but I got the pump in one of these boxes here. I can't remember which box right now. Just I got it labeled somewhere sitting around here. Anyway, that is what it is. The price is what it is. I'm trying to sell this at the price of the motor and the supercharger only. You know, I'm not charging anything for jet pump. I'm not charging anything for gauge cluster, electronics, etc. So there's plenty of room in this to be parted out if that's what you want to do with it. Again, this one does come with the title. That is another one that I have another video that I'll be posting if it hasn't uploaded yet. This is a freshwater 2013 SHO, completely unusable hull. This thing is destroyed. Don't even think that you are going to pay somebody to repair this guy. So it is goner. No freaking way, no how. It would cost you over $4,000 easily to get that thing repaired. It's just, it ain't worth it. So that's a total part ski. It's got a bunch of that calcium or lime type buildup on the back end, but it does run. So anyway, hit me up through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Houston Craigslist. I'm up here in 290 in the Beltway, Northwest Houston 77041, the Jersey Village area. Name is Rob.